That'll do it. I'm reading the both going in on check Friday morning to see how it goes. So hopefully it's working. I mean, you did 200 or what?
A whole lot, but it's going to be some, and it's been 7 years, so it's time to update our rates.
I would entertain a motion to make the changes.
So moved.
And seconded, although, well, I don't know, is there any discussion? I don't see any.
No, but can I mention that I would ask Chief Parker to please keep an eye on this, and if the rates go up in the surrounding towns in the next couple of years, to please bring it forth to us so that we can stay up to date on that.
I will, and there was an email that they sent me of similar towns, and like I had said before, I chose a middle ground. I think it's a fair place to be for us, and I certainly will share that with you going forward.
Okay.
Great. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Fan dryer, aye.
Slapjack, aye. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next on the agenda, I received a call last week from a gentleman who has several lots on Secret Lake. They're adjacent to one another, and in your packet is the property card. They're all on one property card, and also a copy of the assessor's map. The man's name is Nesratham Sabatati, and he has the 3 lots total 2.14 acres, 56, 57, and 58 on Secret Lake Road. We already own 2 lots on the same street. We own lot 47, and which is on the same side of the street, a little further up the road. And we own lot 15, which is about halfway between them, up toward between those lots and lot 47. He's offering to donate the lots to the town. Originally purchased them to build a house, and it's not going to work out for them. So he's offering to give them to the town. And also in your packet, I gave you a copy of some guidance. I'm going to hold this up so you can see. Looks like that. KP Law, about the different procedures involved in accepting a gift of land. I don't expect you to take a vote necessarily tonight.
Yeah, no, I
Bring it
haven't
to your
read all
attention
that.
because you need to think about what's involved in doing this. But there are different procedures involved depending on what the ultimate use of the land is. This guidance talks about whether it's all inclusive. So it talks about whether a town is purchasing land or taking it by eminent domain or being given a gift of land and so on, or trading land. It's all kinds of different ways of acquiring land, and it gives you the checklist for how that works. And talks about all the different reasons why entity might be receiving or purchasing or taking by eminent domain. So, you're going to need to take a look through there and see if this is something that you're interested in doing. It appears to be buildable. So,
Yeah,
it's an
why
interesting
wouldn't we
offer.
just sell
He tried selling them, and he said he didn't get any interest or no interest at the price that he wanted for it. So, if he donates them, he'll get a tax deduction.
them? Right.
So people have all kinds of reasons. So
Sure.
anyway, bless you.
That's good.
Thanks.
So anyway, I putting it on your radar screen. I would, think about it, and at our next meeting, I would hope the board would try and give him some indication.
Oh, sure.
If we're not interested in it, then we should let him know, and he can, pursue it with somebody else. There might be other organizations that are not for profit or something that he'd be able to get a tax adjustment for.
So let me ask, what would we do with it if we accepted this?
Gerhard, it depends on what the town wants to do. I mean, you could keep it for parkland or, town forest, or the town could try and sell it itself or use it for housing or whatever. We already own some land up there. So
Right. Well, there's two thoughts there. One would be, it'd be nice to have, something that somebody's not going to build on. Or the other thought is the town's really not in the real estate business. So,
Right.
yeah, I'd like to go through our lawyers' paperwork on that, suggestions and
Mm-hmm.
rules.
Right.
But there's nothing to stop, Gare, there would be nothing to stop us from selling it ourselves.
No.
Right, because we sell, some of the land that we take by eminent domain because people haven't paid their taxes, some of that land goes up for sale. So, I mean, we could do the same thing here.
Right, we could.
Sure. Sure.
And I'm not familiar with that. It looks like an interesting combination of lots.
Yeah. Yeah. When you put the three
So-
lots together, it's a pretty decent sized parcel.
So now the paper that you sent me only lists the lot of 36-56. What are the other two lots?
The other lots are
57 and 58.
57 and 58. It's 56, 57, 58.
Oh, yeah.
There on the map, it's the three of them together, starting with the little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I'm
and
surprised
then
you
going
couldn't find
west.
it.
But
All right.
There is a house on 59. The cul-de-sac as their part of their driveway. That's how they get in.
Yeah.
what is number 4?
That's a large parcel. It's a trust, and I can't think of the name at the moment, but
Okay, doesn't matter. I was just curious.
further down is Hayes Woodlot. I think the one next to that towards your right is Hayes Woodlot. And the 4 on the other side is a different owner. There's 2 4s on this map because they are
Right,
they're
yeah.
parts of 2 different maps.
Well,
No.
I assumed that was.
I think you're absolutely right. Take a look at it. Take a look at what KP Law is offering as, on here as different purposes. And think about it.
Oh,
know,
we do
next-
have some hands up. I don't know who was first. We got Dave Manty and Ruth French, I see. Maybe they can shed some
Okay,
light.
Ruth, could you unmute?
Okay.
I will. I want to say, I mean, and this was several years ago, the Secret Lake, I don't know, committee or whatever they are, because that's an association, and tried to get the town of Phillipston to pay fees on the lots we already own. And I know at town meeting it was discussed. And at that time, it was stated we didn't have to pay the fees. If we sold the land, then the fees could get paid at that time. And the selectmen was supposed to, the townspeople had said, we'd like the selectmen to investigate dumping those 2 pieces of property up on Secret Lake. It's never been done. I think the town should sell the ones we have. Never mind take on more, because any property up there is part of the association and you're going to have to pay fees on it. And so that was why, and so I only want to say that please don't attempt to take the property without at least letting it go to town meeting and the voters. It's been policy in this town or procedure that any selling or buying of property or even taking as gift, even the one that was done off of Williamsville Road, out in the middle of nowhere, that was accepted at town meeting. So just keep in mind that the town residents really want to have their say in this.
Sure, thank you.
All right,
How
thank
about
you.
Dave,
Dave, could you unmute, please?
Okay, yeah, Ruth kind of stole my thunder a little bit. Those 2 properties were supposed to go up for auction, and that's what we agreed on, the town did. That's why we didn't pay the association. And I believe someone, when they started working for the town, said that that would be the first on their list to make sure those properties got sold, and that hasn't been done yet. And like Ruth said, why do we want to take on a piece of land that we're gonna have to pay the association money on?
Right.
Think we need to either clear up those other 2 lots and have them sold. I know we're not a real estate company, but those lots have been on the books long enough. I'm sure the association isn't happy with the town of Phillipston by not paying the fee. Well, I know it sounds kind of petty, but they need to go. That's about all I got to say on the matter.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Any other hand there? I mean,
that was all I saw. Oh,
bidders?
Tom's
Anybody
back.
bidding? I mean,
Tom?
yeah, we should certainly look into it. Oh, no.
I just want to point out, if I recollect here a while back, and this would be something for somebody to investigate, I thought we had to be brought up to present or to some point in terms of paying the fees. I think we were delinquent, and then it was a matter of, hey, you're going to pay these fees, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you
I
should
thought
check
that was
it out.
Secret Lake.
Huh?
Wasn't that Secret Lake?
Yeah, aren't you talking about Secret Lake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Talking about
yeah,
property on Secret Lake.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I
That's why they
recollect,
couldn't sell it.
I recollect, because I've been up there, um,
Get around.
I don't think those lots, even though they are big enough and setbacks and everything else, they're all on ledge. And before the town takes over an Albatross or White Elephant, I would look into it very closely. And I agree with Ruth. Let's sell what we've got first and then think about this. You know, maybe he could donate it to the Y, turn it into conservation land, get some money that way, et cetera, et cetera. I'd be very leery to snatch onto something like that.
Yeah, no, we don't really want it, but I had a feeling that nobody else does either.
Well, it's all ledge,
Well,
That's why it won't
Please.
sell.
right?
I
He
believe
had
when we
offers.
looked into those other pieces, they weren't very attractive. And, you know, they were trying to hit us up with like beach fees and all that other stuff, and that they were not deemed appropriate fees for the town.
Like I
Anyway,
said,
we'll look
check it
into it.
out. I think we paid fees up there.
Not beach fees. Waterway.
We pay road fees on advice of council.
So is it per lot? Or if we
Yes.
already paid, do we have to pay more?
No, the council has advised us that we need to pay the road
Right.
fees.
Well, Gary and I will look at the suggestions from KP Law and we'll make a decision.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh, Ruth's coming back.
Okay,
Ruth?
Something more?
Well, I am, because now that you're saying road fees, I'm going to make a public records request and find out how much we're paying on road fees and when we started paying it. Because town meeting, and I will find out how long ago that was, it was voted to not pay the fees that they were asking.
No, I remember. I don't.
So even though you're saying that town council's recommended, town meeting voted absolutely not.
Right, but even
So
though,
I would like to know, please send me the fees that we're paying and how long we've been paying them.
if we've been paying them.
Kevin just said we were.
No, he said that council suggested we were.
No,
that
no,
we were
he's,
responsible.
no, he said we have been paying them
we
at.
have been
coun-
paying them at
recommendation.
advice of council.
Thank you.
Oh, all right.
All right. Send me those documents, please.
Okay. Okay. Next item, Mr. Chairman, appointment of town treasurer, of town accountant, we'll skip the custodian, tax collector, and then elementary school update.
Well, I was ready to appoint the town treasurer or one of the candidates that we had.
Mhm.
Gare wasn't ready. I don't know how he is
Yeah,
now.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the second, the Melanie,
Okay, Melanie Rajanimi.
Right,
correct.
so you're motioning to appoint Melanie?
Rajanimi, yes.
All right, I'll second that. All those in favor,
Fan dryer, aye.
Phillipston, aye. Now the
Okay.
same with the accountant?
I don't think she applied for that position.
No, it was a guy.
It's Wilson.
Wilson, yeah,
Tom, Team Perfect. You want to make a motion for him?
I'll let you do it.
All right, I make a motion that we appoint Tom Wilson as our town accountant.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Fan dryer, aye.
Phillipston, aye.
Okay,
I don't think we can do a custodian yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but oh, wait, Rick Kenny's got his hands up.
okay. Rick, could you unmute, please?
Yeah, just a question on this, this gentleman that hasn't made it 2 times in a row. Is that off to a good start?
I don't,
Well, the
I'm
first
just
one,
saying, I know the first one was a medical, but this is the second time. Is it the same reason?
yeah,
yeah, I mean, who knows? We haven't heard anything and, it could be because of the medical. We don't know the nature of the medical emergency.
I kept him on, Rick, in case, he was able to get back to us, but I haven't
Okay.
heard back from him, so blame
He
me.
didn't not show up again. It was just put in just in case.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just in case.
All right.
So I don't know, we only have one candidate, I believe.
Mhm.
Well, one candidate that knows how to clean floors.
Right. Kevin and I took a tour of we took a little walk around in the school earlier. And our MIAA there, we need someone there. Things look good, but it's a little involved.
What are you talking about?
Just like systems there, there's 2 different kinds of heating systems and
Right.
various other things. And well, I'm not saying that the one person that we have couldn't keep an eye on those, but I don't know.
What kind of heating systems are they?
There's
Well-
there's oil and propane systems in there.
Right, but are they forced hot water or is there any water involved or is it just ductless or is it hot air?
The
Hmm.
propane, that has those blowers, that's hot air. And the oil, boy, that's a good question.
I think I would get a burner technician down there and have him look at the heating systems that we have so you can have an idea on
Mhm.
whether or not you can maybe shut part of the school down where there's no water. If it's just a warm air furnace, just food for thought until you get your bearing on what's going on.
Well, there's water in both sections, so I think we should keep them both running.
Okay.
Right. And I looked at the oil tanks and they were actually full.
Yeah,
They
they,
have both tanks?
both tanks.
Yeah.
They topped off both tanks and the propane tanks as well, including the kitchen one.
Did anybody get any history on the oil consumptions and stuff like that to pass on to our current vendors?
We do have some information, yeah, about how much has been used over the last few years.
Okay.
So we can let them know about that.
You should be able to get those K factors off of that information and give that to RJ McDonald.
Yeah,
And they should be able to plug that into their machine so that we know that it's not going to run out. It wouldn't be a bad idea to put light fixtures. They got light fixtures that have thermometers on them, and you can put them in the windows, in the front facing windows.
yes,
And that way there, if it gets below a certain temperature, the light comes on or goes off, but I think it goes on.
right.
And then anybody driving by could take a gander at it as they're driving by. Just make everybody aware of it.
You know,
So
Rick,
Kevin,
a couple of those oil gauge things that we put down here in the basement of Town Hall.
Yep.
And I'd like to put those into the oil tanks over there.
As long as we got Wi-Fi over there and you have,
Yes.
I believe, a router that you can connect to so that you
Yep.
can get the feed over at the town hall.
Right, right. Well, we are, I don't know if the Wi-Fi is still turned on over there, but we're gonna put it on anyway. So, yeah, and I'd
Right.
get those in there. That's
God, it will be.
here, so.
So,
I'd like to, seeing as my hand's up and I'm unmuted, I'd like to suggest, I personally, I think a lot about that building. And I'd hate to see anything happen to it. In the meantime, until we actually interview another janitor or whatever you guys are gonna do, can we have like Director Tenney go over there a couple of 3 times a week? Just to make sure nothing's broken, nothing is leaking, et cetera, do a walkthrough in the meantime until we get a actual working custodian.
Well, we should
Well-
ask Mr. Tenney if he has the time to do that.
Well,
I think all along I've been thinking that there could be several candidates that we can maybe have do a walkthrough. I don't want to put it on anybody, but I mean, the fire department, they go out and do inspections frequently. Not to put anybody on any type of a schedule, but we can all communicate with each other and try to go in. You've got Mr. Smith with the emergency management. He's going to be in and out of there a little bit. So I think all of us could kind of communicate together. If all 3 of us got a key, we could all pop in there from time to time.
no, that sounds good. Rick, isn't part of your job description like building maintenance or? not
Yeah,
maintenance, but-
last I knew it was.
Yeah. So that's not an outrageous
Request.
ask from
No, not at all.
Tom. So, yeah, no, we'll work it out.
I'll,
So,
I'll back that up from Rick. I don't think there's an issue with the fire department helping out with that process. I have a background in heating myself, so if there's any input I can give, that'd be welcome as well.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
like I said, I was just curious if there is some, I know there might be some running water in certain parts of the building, but if the heating systems are forced hot air in certain parts and there's no water in there, or you could flush the system out, you might be able to just shut down a portion of the building with just some simple of emptying and blowing out water lines. But we would have to see what's in and over there where you can not necessarily close the building down, but if you got one corner of the building that you can empty out some water lines in a sink and put stuff in the trap and shut the heat off and close those doors. I just look at the overall cost is gonna be given to the taxpayers to have a function in there, every third Sunday of the month or something. It could come at a heavy cost. That's my only thought. If we could, shut some of it down, but I don't know the ins and outs of that building, and maybe it can't be done.
Right. And I would think it would be appropriate for, say, members of the building committee we had, get together and take a look. Kevin and I just did a quick walkthrough because, it's getting turned over pretty soon.
Friday.
Very soon. So, I mean, there's a sump pump up in the room at the, kind of like near
The old
closest to the
teacher's
basketball.
room, yeah.
There's a number of things, and we should have a group like the guys that you just offered. Plus, I know that Bernie had offered to go through it with us, and so we should work out a date to take a closer look. Like I said.
One of the points that Dr. Cassavant made, and it was a very good point, is the fact that when somebody is in and out of that building every single day, if a pipe was ever to burst, it's going to get caught as soon as it could possibly get caught. And even if 3 or 4 of us are going in there on a regular basis, Murphy's Law, it's gonna burst 6 hours after we went in there, and someone's not gonna go in there for just 3 days.
You're
And you're
not
gonna
even
have a
Irish
flooded mess, I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but it was a good point that he made. The good thing about winterizing it, that way where there's not a lot of people in there, but we'll just have to try to do our due diligence to do walkthroughs as much as we can, and hopefully Lady Luck will be on our side if something like that was to happen.
Mhm.
Or we should
Great.
find out if there were any problematic areas that we really need to keep an eye on during cold weather, et cetera,
Well, if we tie this building into our alarm company, which we probably should, they have water detectors that can be hooked to that alarm system. So if you put some of those down in areas where there would be cold, then anytime there's a burst of pipe, that water detector would set the alarm off and notify somebody right away.
Well, I do believe they're probably gonna have temperature sensors as well. But
Correct.
I'm not sure how good that would work with them, knowing how some of their other areas have worked with the alarm company, that is.
John, when you and I were over there today, we had talked about a previous conversation I had with Don Smith about giving him some office space, and I've talked with Don, and he's ready to take over the old principal's office, and I talked with him today, and moving him in there means that we would have somebody there on a day-to-day basis to keep an eye on the building, be aware of what's going on.
Sure.
So that would be that would be certainly an improvement of not having the building empty. But it also gives Don, much needed office space for emergency management purposes too, since that is designated or meant to be an emergency shelter. That was the reason why we put that big generator out back, and we still have yet to connect it, but it makes it, it means we're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
I agree, but there'll be some different times, like Rick said, after hours or on the weekends,
right.
that
That's
we
true.
need a
That's
fail
right.
safe that
So
maybe
we'll have to
some different
coordinate that.
things, whether it's
Yep.
a red light in the window or whatever, that
Yep.
people driving by would notice that there's an issue going on.
True.
Well, the other thing I think is whoever goes in and out of that building on a regular basis, we should all try to use the same door, so that
Yes.
at
Yep.
any given point, if somebody wants to do a door check or if PD, a lot of times when they're out doing their rounds, they'll do building checks on a regular basis every night. They can maybe pull up and double check the door to make sure it's latched and locked. But I think if we all use the same door for starters, that would be a good place to start. And maybe have a checklist and maybe a chart that you can initial. If we got a checklist of some bullet points to, the 10 different spots to check if you do a walkthrough, and then we can initial it and date it and time, so we can at least keep track of something. If something did happen, we can go back and we can say, well, we know that, John was in here yesterday at 2 o'clock, so it happened after this. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have that clipboard hanging next to that door that you walk out, and everybody can just initial it and put a date and time.
Sure. All good ideas. Tim's had his hand up for a while. Must be getting tired. Can we hear something from Tim?
Tim, could you unmute, please?
Yes, it was way back when, long time ago, when you were talking about what sort of heating systems they had. To the best of my knowledge, the gymnasium area is all gas-fired unit heaters on the roof that are forced hot air type.
Right.
And the rest of the building is a combination of steam radiators and
That's what it is. Yeah.
forced hot water. It's a kind of a combination thing that
Yeah. The
is
older
really a
part.
neat thing.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we
right.
used to like to throw pencils down the old ones in the old school. Listen to it grind up on the rollers.
Yeah, and they took the steam boilers and made them into
I can't
forced hot water and part steam. And I'm not sure if it was ever converted over to all one system, but I know that it was a good mix of it, and it's a really interesting system. And it as long as you like looking at that sort of stuff.
Well, from what we saw, everything was clean, good, and seemed to be humming right along. So I think these are all good suggestions, and we'll work on that.
Can I ask about, if we're gonna put Don Smith in there, should we also plan on finding a room for the planning board?
Planning board has been offered a room across the street and it's all set and ready for them. I already notified Bernie.
Okay, does he have a key?
The key's waiting for him. He has to come in and get it.
Okay,
Shows the laptop. Told him about a week and a half ago. Just gotta come
Okay.
pick it up.
Yeah,
All right.
and then we also need to see what this committee that we formed, wants to do educationally there. I'm guessing they have some ideas already. So it's not going to be vacant for long.
Oh, no.
so can we go back to F, please? The appointment of the assistant tax collector?
I think we were at E. So,
No, E was the appointment of the custodian. We skipped that.
well, that's what I'm wondering. Should we or expand our or the one candidate we had, if we're going to have specialized people checking in on it, maybe that this position would be fine for the candidate we have.
Yeah, but we should probably talk to him to make sure that's true.
Okay, so you want to hold it for now? That's the idea?
Yeah, do we have any special needs to have those floors cleaned, or is it fairly clean in there when you walk through?
It was all clean. But not,
It
from
seemed
what I
pretty
saw.
clean. It hasn't been waxed in a while or that sort of thing, but it's pretty clean. The folks who are using the gym have been pretty careful with it, and they've offered, after they're finished, they've offered to do, a community service project of, coming in and painting and helping to spruce things up for us
That'd be nice.
as a way of saying thank you for letting us, use the tool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I guess we'll contact the applicant and see,
See if he's still able to do it. Or if he'd like to come in and interview.
well, we did interview him, and I don't know how many people here were there. He wasn't strong on. He seemed like had a great work ethic, but he wasn't strong on the custodial experience.
Yeah, he was weak on experience.
Well, from what I read, he had seemed to have done quite a bit of it, with different
No.
buffers and waxers and
No,
strippers?
that's the guy.
The other
that
fellow,
bowed
that's the one
out.
we haven't met yet.
Oh, okay.
Kevin, can I bring something up?
Geez.
Going
ahead.
back to the schools for a second, if
Yep.
there's going to be onus on the different departments to check the school, can we have a department head meeting to bring that up amongst other things to maybe bring
Oh,
up
yeah,
a check,
yeah, no.
Yeah.
a
we should-
checklist
Oh, yes.
for
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we're looking
exactly.
for?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good idea.
So we'll hold off then on the custodian for now, although, you know, we will need to do it soon.
Yep. We have some hands up.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to,
Do you happen to know who's
First.
first?
I didn't see.
Let's go with ladies first.
Okay.
All right, Manty.
Very nice.
Please.
Karen.
Let's see, am I unmuted?
You're
Yeah.
unmuted, Karen.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely.
I'm not trying to interfere with your decision or anything, but Steve Burnett was your candidate already. I believe he was on the fire department for some years here in town. I think he's worked with Donnie Smith on emergency management and civil defense, maybe back a few years. So I think he does have some knowledge of being a town employee, let's say. And I have known him for many years. He coached Little League here in town, and he's very active and a good guy. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just trying to give you some background, and maybe you can talk to Donnie Smith sometime about that candidate's background a little.
Sure. Were you here for his interview, Karen?
Yes, I was on the interview. I watched it, yeah. Anyway, and I think whatever there was for work, and he would do it all. And if there was a floor buffer thing or whatever, he's the type of guy that could easily be taught or showed how to run a floor buffer without any problem. Enough on that. Before you sign off on this meeting tonight, I need the two board members to vote on to sign the election warrant for February, which I've left on the counter. I know, John, you've already signed it, but I didn't.
Yeah, I thought we had voted to sign that.
Nope. We voted to hold the election. We didn't vote for you to sign the warrant.
Oh.
Okay, I'll be there in the morning then.
Okay, it's on the counter there.
And,
All right.
And just to cover us, I would motion that we sign the election warrant.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Fan dryer, aye.
Lufsiak, aye.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
All right. And Dave Manty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dave, I owe him an apology too.
Thanks, John. Is there a clear-cut job description and perform
Yes.
what the guy has to do for a job? Is he gonna mow the lawn? Is he gonna do painting? Does he repair windows? Does he repair anything that breaks? Or does he just turn around and call a subcontractor, and does he make his own hours? He can go and come as he pleases? You know, I mean, can he do it off hours? I mean, I'm thinking of throwing my hat into the ring. If I don't really have to keep any set hours, I can do both. I can work for the highway. I can do janitorial work. It's not a big deal. But apparently he's only going to wash a gymnasium floor, what it sounds like. Is he going to mow? Is he going to repair?
Well, no, I mean,
Is he going
well,
to?
that's what I was trying to say. Maybe we'll know better after this group gets together and see, you know, what we need done by someone, or do we just need someone that cleans the floors? And
I mean, it sounds like the responsibilities isn't very much the person is going to do. I mean, does he work
no, I
19
mean,
hours a week? Does he work 1 hour a week?
No, the job was defined originally as being 19 and a half hours to keep it from requiring benefits. And there is a job description, Dave. It was posted on the.
And there's a list of duties and everything that.
Yep. Yeah,
we
it's a
have that.
regular custodial job description. Yep.
It's not in my job description, and he's not gonna, or the person's gonna refuse to do the particular job. If it's not in his line of.
No, it's in there. Yeah.
I mean, I know we set 15 grand aside. We haven't used a nickel of that yet. So I assume the 15 will run out the end of June. And we'll have plenty left over, so we shouldn't ask for 15,000 more for next year in the town.
You can't carry the money over. You'd have to vote
Well, we will reduce it if
at
we're
the end of
asking.
the year. You have to,
2021, we're knocking that down.
Yeah.
So there is no really set hours for this person.
no, it would be daylight hour, normal hours.
Yeah, okay, well, so we don't really, they can come and go as they please. They're not.
No,
no.
when we hire somebody, we would work out the hours with them.
Are they punching a clock or recording it? I mean,
Yeah, of course.
okay,
It's the law. You have to punch a clock. You have to record
well,
first.
okay, we won't go there, but yeah.
Dave, are you not recording your hours?
I know.
No, I punched the simplex clock that I made when I worked at Simplex. No, I'm just wondering, it just doesn't seem like the job description and what the qualifications you're gonna require from this person. It doesn't sound like you're asking much.
Have you seen the job description?
No, I haven't. I guess I
Okay.
didn't have paper.
Yeah.
Check that out first.
Okay. It's not clear
Right.
cut, so
I mean, we had it out a while ago.
okay, so they're
I
gonna
don't
snow
have it right
blow,
in front of me
shovel.
right now.
They're gonna snow blow the blocks and sand and
Yes,
salt and all
They do
that
the
good stuff.
normal custodial jobs.
Okay, clean the roof off.
Would have
Okay,
seen. Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
all right.
So they need to be agile and, able to do the normal custodial kinds of things like you've seen the custodian doing before.
Okay, well, you didn't, okay, yep. Thank you.
There'd be no point in having a custodian and then saying he couldn't do the work and we're going to have to hire a second guy to do the job for him, right? That wouldn't make sense.
Well, I guess I gotta read it. I don't know if it said mowing lawns. The old
Yeah, it did.
custodian didn't, I don't believe he went up on the roof and shoveled. But whatever, if that's what you're going with, that's fine.
Okay, Tom Smith.
Let me see, wait a minute, where's my arrow?
I'm probably not.
Could you unmute yourself, please?
It's interesting sitting here and listening, everybody come together and talk about this in a positive way. And so I was kind of wondering if maybe when these departments, and I would assume it's probably the three, sit down and talk about this and make a list or checklist. Who knows? Maybe we may not need a custodian. Maybe we could just make do with the people that we have now. And then anyone who uses the gym, which would be the main issue, I mean, it's not like they're going to be wandering around the building, would be responsible to clean up after themselves, sweep, et cetera, and if the floor ever needs to be waxed, we could hire a professional, come in, wax it. As I sit here and start thinking about the equipment that we're going to need to buy, a snow blower and a waxer.
It's
and
all there.
It's all there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If I can just
Anyway.
speak up, and I hope Director Tenney will chime in as well. We don't mind helping to check out, but if there's something going on
Yeah.
with this building, it should be a full-time custodian, someone that's actually
am.
taking
I
care of the
agree.
building.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can I call you back later?
No.
All right.
I
No.
agree with Chief Parker that, we do need someone that will just say, do the floors or, the windows or something like that. I don't want, our highway superintendent, sweeping the floors or, and you could have people that are using it do something, but, they might just do something in one part of the building and then, the rest of it, it needs, looking at or, some cleaning. Otherwise you're gonna have cobwebs or whatever. We will need a custodian, but let's wait till we have this group. I don't think we're ready to appoint a custodian tonight.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. So that's on hold. Thank you. Okay.
So if nothing else, then,
No, we need to appoint the assistant tax collector, please.
oh, I'm confused. I thought at one point Sally said that she didn't need help, that she was fine. No, so I don't understand what's going on.
Now she's asking that we appoint Pat Elaine for the position. So I'd like to make a motion that we go with Sally's request and appoint Pat Elaine to the assistant tax collector.
I am not ready to do that. I'd like to look into it a little more.
Okay.
John.
Kenny, Mr. Kenny has his hand up.
So do we.
I've got it unmuted.
Unmute it.
I did unmute.
Okay.
Okay, Pat, you're on.
Well, this is Sally Casberg on Pat
Oh, sorry.
Elaine's computer. I'm having trouble with mine, so I'm on Pat's. This is nothing new that I'm asking for. I've always had an assistant. And Pat's familiar with the software. She's helped out from time to time. So, and I have put in a lot of extra hours right now trying to keep caught up with these tax bills coming in. And so I really do need an assistant.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
did you say that Pat has worked in that office?
She's helped out from time to time, kind of like stuffing envelopes and helping with that kind of thing. Not anything on the computer, but she is familiar with the Veda software that I'm using.
But this position as assistant tax collector would be new for her?
This is not new. I've always had an assistant tax
No,
collector.
her.
Oh, Pat is new. Well,
Yeah.
it would be new for, yes, it would be. She would be new at it, but she's a quick learner, so I'm sure she'd catch right on.
And you guys work well together?
Yes, and we work very well together.
Mr. Chairman, could you hold, second? Yeah. Mr. Chairman, a couple of things, but one important thing is a member of the assessor's department should not be working in the tax collector's office because there's a potential there's a conflict of interest issue there. That those two offices are supposed to be separated. There should be an inviolable wall between those departments. The office that's setting taxes and determining how much money needs to be paid, and the office that's making the collections. That should be separated, and the staff between those two offices should never be or never have been working together in the same place, working collectively. And that's a state rule too. But
All right, well, I'd like to look
Pat?
into that.
where was this position posted?
Pat already resigned from the assessor's office, so she's
You
no
said she
longer
was
working.
Before. You said she had worked for you stuffing envelopes before.
She-
Volunteer.
And
Working in-
volunteering. Yes, she
Well,
has. She's also
anyway.
done some volunteering work for me.
Well, volunteering or not, she still never takes off her assessor's hat if she was
But
doing
wait,
time.
No, she resigned from the assessor's office. She's no longer in there.
is that why Manty's hand was up or now it's down?
It is now.
Right, Pat resigned a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
I was not.
And
So
so
wh-
you're telling us that this is since she resigned, she has been working in your office?
But you're asking Sally that, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
She's been volunteering in my office.
Because I haven't seen her and I'm right across the hall and I see from my door in through your door. So I haven't seen her there.
Well, no, she has been
When-
volunteering.
When was this posted?
I asked for the appointment 2 weeks ago, at least 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right. When was the position posted? When was it advertised? Where was it posted?
I never had to post before an elected official. I've always been able to request to the select board to have my assistant appointed. So it's never been an issue before.
Well, I mean, this has come up time and again in putting people in positions in the last couple of years now that I've been here about where these positions are posted. Mr. Fandryer brought it up recently. It was brought up with the Board of Health. It's been brought up with a lot of positions that the selectmen have been filling. You know, where has the position been posted? Where has a notice been placed so other people would know that they could put their name in and say they were interested in the position?
Well, to my knowledge, it has not been posted.
Okay,
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Well, then let's hold off on that for now. Mr. Kenny's had his hand up. I'm not sure if it's on this subject.
But there are 3 hands up.
I know, but Kenny's has been up for a while.
I don't want to be a fly in the ointment, but we're talking about posting positions. I don't think any of the jobs in the past few months for the IT, for the administrative assistant were posted either. I'm just throwing that out there.
I agree.
That, you know, we got to be fair here, and it's got to be across the board if we're going to start going down the posting jobs. I think that this should be a fair playing field. She's worked in the town. She volunteered stuff in envelopes. I don't think this is a big law breaking situation, and I think this should be looked at a little bit more fair. We're going to post this job. We got to post
Sure, and
every
that's why I
job, just
said we
not,
need to
just
look
not.
at it.
I just don't think I've said enough. I just think that everything should be posted if we're going to go down that road. And it should have been for the past several jobs that have been
All right.
taken.
I
think
agree.
Maybe Linda was hit next. I'm not certain though.
All right, you might not want to hear what I say either. This is not fair. You
Well, I
know,
didn't. who
Sally has requested this person. This person has worked in the town very hard, very well, and seems
How do you know this?
because I've had to get information for her from the board that I've been on, and she's always worked right
From
away
her on the tax collector business?
on the assessors at the assessors department.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
So,
No, I thought
and
you were saying.
I've also noticed that there have been some other jobs that weren't posted that I feel, okay, if you're gonna do this, then you
Well, I mean, we
better,
should. Yeah, we
you
should.
better
You're
have
right.
to go back and repost those other positions and maybe remove those people because those weren't posted positions.
Sounds good.
And so I like
Thank
to
you.
play nice, and it doesn't
right,
seem
how
like
about
people
Ruth?
are playing nice tonight. So thank you very much.
Ruth unmuted.
Yeah, and I do recall it was at least a couple of weeks ago at your meeting when the request was there to appoint Pat Elaine, and it was kind of, passed over for whatever reason. And in my tenure in town, the assistant tax collector's position was never posted. I mean, Sylvia did it for a lot of times.
With
But
all
there
due
were other-
respect, you've been working with the town for quite a long time. Things have changed.
Oh, I understand. But what I'm saying is it was always, the tax collector being an official and an elected person could request her own appointment. However, and
we'll
she
look
was,
into it.
all right, and in
ahead.
July 1, the job, or in June, the job was never posted. It was taken away from Sylvia and somebody else was hired. And that was totally,
It
not
wasn't
posted.
taken from
we're-
Sylvia. Sylvia resigned.
Let's,
It wasn't taken from Sylvia.
like Linda Ella said, let's keep this cordial. And the reason why the appointments were canceled a couple of weeks ago was everyone we were working on, Gare said he wanted more information. So out of frustration, I said, we're not doing any appointments tonight. That was why that happened. It wasn't that we passed it over then for that reason. I tell you the truth, I hadn't even really
So what is your objection, John, to appointing Sally's request tonight?
Well, I didn't realize that she was no longer with the
Assessors. Okay,
and
so can I remake the motion and request that we vote on this?
Yeah, you could.
All right, so I make the motion that we hire Pat Elaine as the assistant tax collector.
And I'm not gonna second it though, because I really wanted to look into this a little more, because I was under the impression, I need more information.
Okay.
I can hear whispering too.
Somebody's whispering.
Anyway, without any other business, is there anything more, Kevin?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Well, is there anything on the elementary school update?
That
I
was
thought we
the
were going-
update. The school is coming back to the town as of Friday. You know, we're going to put Donald into the office to cover it. The school department filled up the tanks and we're making, you know, adjustments as we need to.
Okay,
That was their response to the board's letter to them.
okay.
So, got some hands up. Mr. Speck, or unless Linda was first.
Let's go.
Kevin, could you please forward me the information that you had from Rick Moulton? And John and Gare, I think if we contacted the previous custodian that used to go there, he might be able to provide you guys with a list that would help all you guys figure out what needs
Yeah,
to be
that-
looked at. I mean, it might take you 2 minutes.
Both Moulton and the previous custodian, Kevin and I had discussed when we were in the building earlier. Those are
Oh,
good
good.
suggestions. They are.
Okay.
Do we know whether or not the previous custodian would be interested in this position?
No, they stole them.
He was, but he didn't want to do a resume before.
What?
Why? Linda, why?
Where did Linda go?
She said he didn't want to do a resume?
That's what it sounded like.
Linda, he didn't want to do a resume, you said? Unmute, please.
Yeah, when he saw the job posting, he was intimidated by it. It said it needed a resume. And then I got word to him that he didn't, because remember, Kevin, I asked you and you said,
Yeah.
no, just a simple job application would be fine.
Right, and he didn't do that either.
Well, he was intimidated. So, and he really does like that school, and I'm sure he would be glad to help you guys out with something to help you, but he's good. He would probably be good for it.
Well, then he should have.
Then he's going to have to do an application. We've got to have that at least.
No, we've got other people that are, at least one other person that's interested.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. I agree.
Well, he's
No.
gonna have to do something to let us know who he is.
Yeah.
I think Tom is offering to do his, be the custodian.
Tom Speck's gonna be the custodian? All right.
That's what his
Good.
hands up
He'd be
for.
good.
Okay.
Tom?
Just before we go to Tom, Linda, what info were you looking for from Rick Moulton?
The breakdown of how much the costs were, Kevin. Remember you said you
Oh,
had something,
okay, costs. All right, just so I understand. Okay, got it.
you had gotten an email from him and you were gonna forward it, but
Okay,
I think I was supposed to remind you.
okay. Go back.
Now, I'm hoping he'd like to come with us when we do take that tour,
Okay.
I know, that'd be great.
but we're having respect.
I'm just curious if the town has had to come up with any costs to take over the building. I know when people get new phones, et cetera, the phone company will ask for a deposit, et cetera, et cetera. So I was curious, I think I mentioned this to you last night, Kevin, that, you know, are there any costs that we're gonna incur taking over the building and, you know, other than, you know, start paying some bills? Have all the bills been paid to date by the school?
Yes, they paid for the fuel and that's in that they put in the tanks at this point. As of Friday, National Grid will switch over the billing to us.
So are there any outstanding bills that the school hasn't paid?
They claim
Not
that
that
they
we
are
know of.
paying all the bills up to that point.
So they paid up to date?
They didn't do all the repairs that they were supposed to, but they paid, their bills are paid.
I think the most important part is that the town has got control over it now. And we'll take probably a lot better care of it than, and I know just about all 27 people that are here tonight, you know, we want to see that taken care of a lot better than the school took care of it. And that's my own personal opinion.
Okay,
School looks pretty good.
Okay, Tim Haley and Karen Foley.
okay.
Yes, I know that there was a letter from the finance committee to the Board of Selectmen about reactivating or getting a new password for the finance committee email. Has there been any progress on that?
I think it was sent on to you, but I'll resend it tomorrow. Tonight. I guess I'll send it tonight. I won't be here tomorrow, so I'll resend it tonight.
Okay,
You want me to send it to you, Tim?
yeah, Tom, Linda, and I.
Okay.
Passed to 3 people?
Then we got Karen Foley still with her hand up.
Wait a sec. Just making a note. Okay. Where did she go? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, okay, I'm on now.
There you go.
As town clerk, I'm supposed to get all the appointments and resignations. I was wondering if, Kevin, you could send me the resignation of Charlotte Biandaca and Sylvia Haley as assistant tax collectors. I don't believe I have anything on file that they ever resigned as assistant tax collector.
They wouldn't have turned them into us.
Well, who would they, you said that Sylvia.
They'd have turned them into their bosses, but they wouldn't turn them into us.
Okay, so if
Why
they,
would they turn them into me?
if they wouldn't have turned it into you, then why is the select board blocking Sally's appointment?
I haven't, you know what? I'm not going there, Karen.
I know, and I didn't say we were blocking it. And
Well,
I said I was surprised. I didn't realize that.
I used the wrong words, but you know, there were 2 girls that worked in that office for many, many years, and they lost their jobs. Sally just wants some help. I think it's very unfair that she all of a sudden has no help. You know, and there's no
She
raise.
has an assistant. Wait. She has an assistant tax collector. Lynn was appointed by her as assistant tax collector, and she chose not to use her. I've been sitting here and she brought other people in, you know, at other times while Lynn was in the building and used them. Went upstairs, used them in the auditorium. I've sat here through that. So please don't tell me that she's got nobody helping her. She appointed Lynn and then didn't use her. So please, let's not go there. The meeting's over.
And I,
Why?
I think you're looking for,
Why was
let's not get in an argument here.
this account if she didn't?
Okay. John,
Linda Ellis.
motion to adjourn?
We still have 2 hands up.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want, if we're gonna be just
We're
digressing.
not going into an
and-
argument here. We're not
Right.
going to
That
get into
wasn't
one of these
Karen Foley.
arguments back and forth things.
I think Director Tenney won't be arguing with us.
I think we're done here, aren't we, sir?
He said he spoke, he already said enough on it. He said himself.
It's an open meeting, John. We are supposed to allow people to
No,
talk.
it's a selectmen's meeting.
It is, can I ask a
And if
question?
you're on the agenda, you can speak. But if you're not on the agenda, it's up to us, actually the chairman, whether you speak or not. It is not a public meeting.
Well, who calls the meeting then, John? Who decides the
chairman.
meeting's over?
The chairman.
Okay. I just want to be sure who I'm working for, that's all.
Well, is that why your hand's up?
Yeah, this is very disgusting to me. I'm very sorry to be kind of, I don't know. This is very disgusting, the double standard that automatically popped up from a month and a half ago. We gave 2 or 3 jobs out a month and a half ago, and we voted it with not even a second guess. And now we don't want to give somebody a job that's worked in town for years. And
Didn't say that. Said I wanted to look into it. That new information came to me tonight. So that I said I wasn't ready to second that. That's all there is.
Okay.
Linda, is there something? Go ahead.
Linda?
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, I don't know if Kevin told you, but the finance committee is gonna use the forms that he was proposing, and we were liking the forms, okay?
Thanks.
And you what?
That we said those forms would be fine. We voted at
At
our
one
finance-
time, Gary, they thought they were gonna redo the forms.
Yeah,
And
so I
she's
just
saying
wanted to let
that
you
they're
guys know
not.
that.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing more on our agenda. I would motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, I don't believe we have to vote on that, but.
Nope.
Jack, aye.
Fan drawer, aye.
Thank you.